Presenting the world's only business school without the BS.
He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from A to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of this show is to help you score. I couldn't see the light until my son could see, but I learned to rock the mic in the high school scene. A young DJ with
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. When we, in just a minute, we're going to get back to a question that Marshall Morris, one of the business coaches, has for Dr. Z, because Marshall Morris and Eric Chupp, both business coaches with our program, they actually took a member of the Thrive Nation from New Orleans, who owns a clinical research facility, to the optometry clinic as well as to the auto auction to observe what is happening.
Kind of like a field trip.
They
went on a field trip.
It was an adult field trip.
But
it was awesome.
This is the opportunity. When you said the adult, it just made the show dirty.
Did it feel dirty?
Yeah, because as an example, you said
of all the things
we're
going to
go
said
to
on the show, that was what crossed the line.
No, listen, you went over the line.
Yeah,
listen,
Marshall.
Listen. I'm being. This is a time for a reprimand. Here's what happens: is if Marshall, because you give your employees certain latitude, right?
Punch him.
And if you bought a bookstore, right? You went out there and you invested your hard-earned money in Dr. Zellner's bookstore. And then Marshall adds to the sign just a small world. Dr. Z's adult bookstore. He would be fired.
It does change things.
We would have a different group of people.
Well, that already exists, so it's not. I mean, that's weird.
Furthermore, if you covered up the windows and you blacked them out with paint, you'd be double fired. So I just want to get that out there.
Double
so now,
fired.
Marshall, now that you know the latitude of what you cannot get away with when asking Dr. Z questions or taking action without his permission, continue.
Wait. Can I just say a little story before he asked the questions about while we were out there?
Sure, adult Chup.
Okay, adult story. I'm going to tell an adult story. Okay, see, this literally happened to me.
Someone's birthday.
Okay, so I got there. I didn't get a chance to go out to the optometry clinic because I had some meetings. So I got there. I got to the auto auction before Tyler and Rachel, right? Tyler and Rachel and Marshall. And so I talked to the main managers out there, and they were cool. Hey, they were super awesome. But I noticed I was there, like, walking around just kind of staring at everybody doing their jobs. And they were like, what is this guy doing? Like,
kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not a creep. But one thing that happened was I went to throw a bottle away at the trash can by the front door. And then I noticed it was full. Yeah. And since I was there looking at systems and the business, I go, I wonder how long that trash can will be full. I went into the bathroom, took a pee. Just regular old pee.
Regular old pee?
Came
That's
back
not
out.
crossing the line.
No, I mean, literally, you know what?
Not a medical pee where someone said, hey, please pee into this small...
No. Well, there was a guy there asking for samples. I don't know what that was all about. But
what?
No, I'm just kidding.
You continue to cross
So
the line.
literally, so 2 minutes maybe, right? Just 2 minutes. I come back out.
That's a long pee.
One of your top guys and one of the maintenance guys was already there taking the trash out. And so it was just like this awesome thing of like, I was like, I wonder how long it'll take. And the next time I turned around, they were already on top of it. So just the systems, the man, it was amazing. We had a great time.
It was amazing. We had
it was an adult pee.
A safe place for you to go to the restroom, and we cleaned our trash cans. That's a successful business, folks, right there.
That's how you do it.
That's a successful business.
Marshall, you had a question.
I have a question. I'm trying to ask a question.
Okay.
The question is with the auto auction, you have 7 lanes that are running right now. Is it 7 lanes or?
Yes.
Okay, you got 7 lanes, and this is what I thought was phenomenal about it is that every lane is the exact same. And they operate all the same way. And so you might have different cars or different people, different dealers for different lanes, but the way that they're run is the exact same.
Correct.
And so what I was hoping that you might be able to break down, because if you've not been out there, it might seem like chaos, but nobody's stressed.
It seems like chaos.
There's so much going on all at the same time, and everybody's on a speaker, and a lot of things are going on. They're moving through cars at every 30 seconds. There's a new car coming through, and so it's moving very quickly, but nobody's stressed. Everybody's on top of whatever it is that they're doing. And so what I was going to hope that you could break down is, how did you identify what those different roles were? Did you start with all of those roles all at once, or how did you piece together the appropriate people for each lane?
Here's the thing about it that I counsel, and when I'm business coaching, when I'm being a business coach with someone, and most businesses that are being started right now, there's a GOAT. There's an example. There's a
greatest of all time.
Right. at least something you could go somewhere and investigate it. So what you do is you get out of your town. So let's say you want to start a chiropractic office. You're a chiropractor and you want to have a killer chiropractic office. And you're going to open that up in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, right?
Right.
Well, you don't try to find the best chiropractor in Oklahoma City because that's like kind of awkward. I mean, you can do it.
If you get busted, it's super weird.
Super weird.
It creates an antagonistic relationship. They will eventually bust you. So just go to another town.
Go to another town. You go to Kansas City. You go to Amarillo. You
Get your back adjusted like a boss.
Exactly.
Mystery shop.
Amarillo by morning.
Some
Just
Santo.
see a chiropractor. And what you do is you determine a very good one there, and then you build a rapport with them, and you try to get to that golden look. And in other words, you say, hey, can I come and shadow you? Can I look at you? I hear you're the best, and I just want to come and pick your brain, and I'd like for you to mentor me. And a lot of guys, professionals, if you play it right, if you do all the steps that we teach you through our Thrive coaching, if you do it right, you can get that golden look and go in and get that. So there's no new rocket science. There's no, you find the parade and you get in front of it. And so there's a lot of examples of what a good auction is.
Well, I have two things I want to add to that. Because we've coached with so many clients. Well, because we've coached with so many clients,
Yeah, he is.
we will absolutely show you the proven path. Like we've worked with other people in your industry in different cities.
Right.
The only time I'm not going to help you is if you have a men's grooming business. I'm not helping you. If you have a dog training business and you're not a tip-top canine, I'm not helping you. If you have an OxyFresh, I'm not. If you have a carpet cleaning business, not OxyFresh, I'm not going to help you. And Z's not going to sit there and help an auto auction in his own town. He's not going to do that. And so it just doesn't make any sense. And so for you, I think of so many entrepreneurs, though, that are improperly trained, they are actually going in their naivete to their competitors and asking, hey, how can you help me grow my business? And I will tell you, a lot of competitors, I have done this numerous times. I will intentionally give you wrong advice so you lose. If you're in my town. And I've done this
It's mean.
probably north of 5 times where they'll say, hey, so you guys built DJ Connection. This is when DJ Connection was rocking. What are your tips for like starting a company? I said, well, the first thing is never do a show. Your first 10, you never want to do a show unless it's at least $1,500. And they said, what? I said, you don't want to cheapen the brand, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, really? Absolutely. And that way they never get a booking.
Right, exactly.
Because I want them to lose because they're my competitors. I mean, quit asking your competition. Then the second fun fact I want to give you here is Chup said he went to your restroom at the Z66 auction for 2 minutes. He urinated for 2 minutes. But yet I went on to the Discover magazine website and I discovered that to their surprise, scientists have discovered that regardless of the size, most mammals, Chup, urinate for about the same amount of time, 21 seconds, despite the differences in bladder volume. So I find it hard to believe that you did urinate for 2 minutes, and I advise you to change your story.
Hey, I would just say those are some weak mammals, if you know what I'm saying.
What?
This is. I'd like to, as the adult in the room, I'd like to. Just
adult, you did it.
Adult.
I would like to. I said adult.
You should put your pants back on if you're the adult.
I am the adult in the room, and I feel like we have spent the last 7 minutes in a junior high locker room. I'd like to apologize for it.
Right, yeah.
And we will do.
On behalf of your time, Thrive Nation, we apologize.
We don't know how we ended up here.
We will do better.
We thought we're going to the janitorial closet. We went to the wrong spot.
Marshall's fault.
We'll refocus. Marshall, what's the next question?
The next question is when you were first building the business, okay? Any one of your businesses, do you run into the same challenges as you're creating the systems? Do you run into the same challenges that you found time and time again? Is there a certain threshold that you have to get past?
Absolutely. Same challenges, same things. And when we get back, I'm going to break down a few of those and how you get past them.
Oh, break it down. Break it, break it down.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
It's a Thrivetime show on the radio. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. It's all about you. 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 Yeah. So we bring the boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, welcome back to your Hours of Powers. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio, where we typically broadcast from the left coast of the Arkansas River, but today you can sense the difference. We're operating from the man cave / a men's locker room. And so typically we'd have class, We would be, we'd bring a certain level of class, a little of prestige.
It's like the difference between a yacht club on the west coast of the Arkansas River,
right,
and a pool hall, like in the middle of town in a dingy part of town. That's kind of what I feel like. Yacht Club
Miami versus Yacht Club Port of Catoosa.
Oh.
There's a little bit of a difference there.
Oh. I mean,
I love Catoosa.
I grew up out there, man. Come on.
Well, I tell you,
come on, man.
Brown water. If brown water is if you're looking for majestic brown water, I encourage you to go to the
verdigris means green and gray in French.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, Marshall.
Verdigris.
Marshall. Eric Chupp has got to the end of the line here with his low brow humor and his overall insulting of the classiness of our listeners.
Yeah.
So if you could take the show up a notch and keep it very cerebral,
very tall,
very regal, very classy.
Very classy. Okay, I got a couple questions.
Sure.
One is a brief question.
Okay.
It's just been bugging me.
A question about briefs.
Yeah. Adult briefs.
Boxer or
okay.
Marshall.
Just kidding. So we're
Unbelievable. I try to take this show to a high level. You do it again.
So the dry erase boards on each of the different lanes,
yes,
there's
sir.
a different name of what I would expect to be different dealers.
Correct.
And so I didn't know if they were buyers or sellers
Yes,
or
good
just
question.
friends or what the purpose those were serving.
I got friends on dry erase boards. They are the sellers, and so every week that can change.
Okay.
And so that's the order they're coming through the lane, and that's who's coming through the lane.
Okay.
Because I got friends on dry erasers. Okay.
Gonna sell you cars. And
Beer
so
chases my blues away. Back to you.
Going to sell a car today. But that's what that is. So every week that can change, and that just makes it versatile. So if you saw in there where we paint, we typically have if you're going to run through lane C, you're always going to run through lane C, but that could change, in theory. And so that dry erase board is like the final saying, that's what's coming today and the order they're coming today.
And who wants to know that? Do the buyers want to know that, or do the sellers want to know which lane they're in?
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the buyers have already negotiated that. They've already negotiated what they call their number in the lane.
Yeah.
So if you have number 80, that means you're the 80th car through the lane. If you have number 20, that means you're.
Yeah.
So in other words, you may call up and say, "Hey, I need 10 spots," so you get 20 to 30.
Got
And
it.
so that's been negotiated a lot of times to get someone to come to the auction to sell cars. That's part of the negotiation.
Cool.
Of getting them in there, and so that's.
So they know where to expect their cars.
Bingo.
Got it. Okay. And I got
What's
another
your next question,
I got another one. Okay. Another rapid fire question.
I got another answer.
Okay.
Oh.
So do I understand that you also do some type of online bidding as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Every one of those lanes is online. You can register online. So people around the country.
I don't
buying
know
them.
if the Thrivers that have not been out there quite understand that, but there is a new car coming through every 30 seconds.
That the car is pulling out before it's sold.
I think it's faster than 30 seconds because of how many cars are coming through.
Unbelievable.
Each lane.
And so there's several bids per car. Okay,
Correct,
there's all kinds of bids.
Correct.
And so you have one person fielding the online bids to bid with the people on the floor.
Correct.
Is that standard for auctions, or is
Yes.
that okay? So that is just something that blew my mind, because there's a lot of different players, a lot of different people to make that happen.
Right.
But that is just so impressive to see that, because you're integrating both an online technology and an in-person technology.
Real time.
Which segues to my next question is what problems do you typically see when you're building a business and somebody says, hey, that's not typically how it's done in our industry, or that's not like the standard way that's done. You can't do it that way.
I love those kind of problems.
Really? You love those problems?
I love those problems.
Do you typically have those in your businesses, and do you see that as a way to create a competitive advantage, or how do you handle the problems that typically exist when you're building a business?
Well, 26, going on 27 years ago when I opened up my optometry clinic, there had just been some lawsuits that had just been kind of finalized on whether professionals can advertise. You know, back in the day, long time ago, back when before you kids were just
back when optometry was classy.
Back Shep when you were just a positive glimpse in your dad's eye.
That was him. He's 27.
Yeah. My point is before that there's some attorneys that actually won a lawsuit that said that you can now advertise as a professional.
Okay.
And so there were a lot of doctors, dentists, chiropractors, optometrists, attorneys,
High classy people who had a
High-classy
rich
people
mahogany
that
decor.
had grown up with the idea that was very unprofessional to do.
Absolutely.
And it was kind of dirty.
It was
kind
dirty.
of like
It was-
it was like, oh, that's beyond.
It's like cursing in church, running an advertisement. Really, I'd rather have somebody curse. I would rather have someone curse in church than run
We
an
want to
advertisement.
find the tallest building in town. Hopefully, it's ivory white and hover near the top.
On
of
behalf of the members of the Petroleum Club of the 7th Order of the 13th edition of the Alumni
Chiropractic Alumni Association.
we behold here that it is absolutely not ethical to advertise because that would require work and creativity, and we
in
don't have either
fact,
of those things.
All the tar and feather we have over here in the corner is set
And it's also
for.
unethical that any optometrist will ever. Section 243 of the bylaws state that any optometrist would be open on a Friday is a weasel. Any optometrist would be open on a Saturday is obviously missing his genitalia. And any optometrist who's open on a Sunday hates America. That's what we've all ruled. I mean, right? I mean, that's what they think.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was kind of a trendsetter in my area, and I was the black sheep, metaphorically speaking, as far as the fact that I was so aggressive with
You were
my
like
advertising.
the prince. You were like the prince of optometry.
I was the prince.
You brought the purple rain, man.
Oh, that kind of prince.
Seriously, you changed the game. You no one else was wearing platform shoes. Purple.
And there was kickback from that. I mean, I'd go to all the optometric conventions. I'd walk around. When I walked by, I would hear this. There he is. That's the one. That's the guy. That's the
In the purple rain, a purple rain, purple rain. Everyone's singing your songs, but everyone's hating on you. A purple rain, a purple rain. People were hating on you, but they know your name.
And then eventually, years later, they got over it. And they realized, oh, wait a second. I guess we can do that too.
This guy was right.
Wait a minute. We should do a tribute for that guy at the Timberlake halftime show.
Purple rain.
That's not going to happen. But my point is that anytime you're a trendsetter, anytime you're doing things that your competition's not doing, and you're kind of stepping out a little bit, you got to. There's some heat you catch from it. But you know what? Hey, the way I looked at it, none of those folks were paying my bills.
As the prince of optometry, when they started turning up the heat, did it ever make your mascara run? That's the question I have for you.
No, because I use that waterproof mascara.
He's smart like that.
So, Marshall, what's your next question?
I'm going to throw it over to Eric because Eric was out there with me. Eric was out there with me. I want to give him an opportunity.
Please don't throw it like they threw the ball to Tom Brady.
I know. How about I just catch it?
Tom.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to
so
throw
much.
it exactly like they threw it to Tom Brady.
No, because he can't jump. It was a mean throw. It was a mean-spirited throw. He can't
they
jump.
threw it just
really
out
run.
I got bobble in the ball.
Oh my!
The TB12 guy can't make coordination.
So Eric, here it comes. I'm throwing it over,
and it's
to
incomplete.
And we're back.
Okay.
Okay. So Z, one thing I noticed that I thought was super cool out at the auction was your top 10 buyers room.
Yes.
Okay. So our main man
sellers.
Chet Holmes, right? Chet Holmes, the ultimate sales machine.
Great book.
He has a notable quotable that says, "Best buyers buy more, buy faster, and buy more often than other buyers.
There you
These
go.
are your ideal clients. Have a special effort dedicated to just the dream clients." And so my question would be, how important do you think that idea of, hey, I've got a top 10 buyers room? I mean, do you have is like the top 15? Do they jockey to see who gets to be in the top 10? Or like how much value do you think that brings those guys really just kind of buying into your system and your brand?
And it's top 10 buyers and top 10 sellers. And so it's both categories
Both.
in there. And I think that just what it does is it says, hey, listen, I'm going to treat you all the same. But those few that stand out, you get just you get a little bit of VIP treatment.
I would like to interrupt what you're going to say because you can't talk about yourself nearly as good as I can talk about you. And at your birthday party this year, how old did you turn last birthday? 53?
Oh, yeah.
At that birthday party, I saw Z's customers, a customer who came to his birthday party who had the kindest things to say about him, and he'd done business with the man for years. And so we come back, I want to talk about what it's like to blur the line from just a mere customer acquaintance to a friend by being consistent, because you get to see somebody's character by the way they handle their business. And I keep running into people that have done business with Dr. Z over an extended period of time who have become his very dear friends. And I went to a Steve Martin concert, and there I'm sitting next to a customer. And I'm like, so are you his friend? Well, yeah, I'm a customer, so I'm his friend. It's amazing how that relationship is created systemically over there at Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates, as well as at the auto auction. Stay tuned. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio.